let's jump into this.
Alrighty.
I'm super excited to talk to you. Thank you again for joining me. Tell us a little bit about how you, how the role came about with the new movie, the Clark sisters. How did the role even fall into your laps? So to speak?
Yeah. So I was, well, actually my management saw it on, posted on, Donald Lawrence's page, and unfortunately, he was not supposed to be posting it, but fortunate for me.
Wow. Okay.
So great. They were looking for the last 3 sisters for the actors' roles, and they told me, they were like, Teen, they called me Teen. They were like, Teen, you have to do it. Like, you have to audition. And I was nervous. I really didn't want to do it because I've never wanted to really be on camera. And I've always done different roles, but only in plays. So I did it and got the audition done, sent it over, and probably within, it was less than 24 hours, we got a call back and they were like, yeah, can you be Twinkie? I tried out for 2 roles, and it was Twinkie and Denise. So
wow.
I tried out for those, well, 3, and Jackie. And they were like, no, you're Twinkie. Can you please be in Canada in 2 weeks? I was like, yeah, of course.
Wow, that's so amazing. Yeah. And this is your first role, I'm assuming, or no?
Yes, for television. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so, for 2020.
I know, right? I know.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your role. You're playing Twinkie. Tell us about the role itself.
So without giving too much away, they keep saying, don't give too much away. And I'm like, dude, we're posting clips. Come on now. But without giving too much away, Twinkie's role is super mild-mannered. Really, she's, if you've never met her, you have to understand Twinkie is very soft-spoken. She's slow to speak. She just doesn't seem to ever get angry, really. Suppresses a lot of that. And so in the movie, in the film, you'll see that she wants to make life decisions on her own. She wants to get from underneath the family, from what she's always known. And she does it, she takes a stab at it a couple of times, and unfortunately she's not really heard in the beginning, but in life you just have to sometimes kind of bogart your way through and make people understand, hey, I'm my own person. So in the film you'll see that she's really sweet, but she wants to finally be able to make some type of decisions on her own and get from under the thumb of her family.
Sure. Now, what was your biggest challenge taking on this role? What would you say was your biggest challenge?
Definitely being mild-mannered. I'm loud. I am boisterous. I really have a really, really big personality. I speak way faster than Twinkie does. And it's, but we have so much in common. She's divorced. She's leader of a group, and she's got a child, and just so many things in common. And of course, a lot of weight was on her shoulders. Same thing with me, so it was really challenging trying to make sure, though, because one thing about Twinkie is, even though she has her moments where she's funny, but I'm always trying to be that really great personality, just outspoken, and wanting to make sure that people are happy around me. So she's kind of a little bit different from me on that, but yeah.
So that's so interesting. Did you find it, I guess my question is, did you have how did you tap into that character? Did you have to go into a space alone, isolation? Like, how did you tap into the role of Twinkie?
So I made sure that, first of all, I had to study her. I wanted to make sure that I had her mannerisms and everything down, but I also had to make sure that I got out of the place of being happy-go-lucky all the time, because Twinkie has dealt with, even though I have as well, but Twinkie has dealt with life on a way bigger scale than myself. And doing that, I had to make sure that when I was reading the story, because we actually, and I think all of the girls did it, we actually had to read this story almost daily, because you have to know what it is that you're going to be doing the next day. So like you have different scenes that you shoot every day, of course, but you want to make sure that you get on set and you're in that mindset. But as soon as like really emotional scenes were over with, I had to jump out of it because me personally, I can't just stay there. It puts me in a depression and I ain't gonna be that,
Right, no, I get it.
I got in there and then I came back out. Whenever they would say cut, they would tell me, hey, if you need to take some time for yourself so you can get your mind back together, do that. So I took the instruction and I went ahead and did what I needed to do for the role.
Sure. Now, without giving, and I don't know if you can do this, you can definitely tell me I can't do that, but without giving anything away, do you have a favorite line or what was your favorite dialogue in the movie?
Right now.
You can't give that out?
Right now, I can tell you because it's online.
Okay, good.
But when she turns to Jackie and she tells Jackie, I deserve a nice car, it puts so much stuff into perspective. At least for me, it did. It puts so much stuff into perspective because I'm like, dude, I deserve something nice for myself.
Right.
A lot of people are like, dude, she sold her catalog for a car, and it's so much bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? So, but when you see the movie, you'll see what decisions she made and why she made the decision. It wasn't for a car, okay?
Right. It was a bigger thing to her.
Right.
Yeah. Now, how were you able to relate? You did mention some things, but ultimately, how was you able to really relate to her since, you guys are personalities are different? How are you able to relate to her?
Of course, I've gone through divorce, and I've been divorced since 2011. So I've gone through a divorce, and it was a really tough time for me at that point. And she actually goes through the same exact thing, and it's a lot of pressure, especially when you're in the front of people all the time. So they're kind of like, so what happened to y'all? Just want to be in your business, and it can put a lot on your shoulders. Again, it makes you kind of almost go into depression because you're thinking, everybody said that it wouldn't work out, and it's the same exact thing for her, because it was the same thing for me. It won't work out, and I related to her on more ways than one, but that's just one.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, who is the funniest person in the cast in real life? While you guys are on set, who was the funniest?
So I'll say two people because they're kind of neck and neck. But Angela is number one. She is super funny. She almost acts just like Jackie in real life.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Certain things agitate her, and you can tell in her face, and we're like, snap out of it.
That's so funny.
Super funny though. And then Kiara comes in next.
She's hilarious.
Really, she's a nut. Okay.
She's my type of person.
Yeah.
She's definitely funny. Now, what were you doing in between? I know, when you were on set, what was y'all doing? Was y'all making jokes? Were y'all together? Was that a time where you were going back trying to make sure, you were looking at your lines, or were you just chilling? What was you doing in between, the sets?
We really didn't have a lot of time to ourselves except for on weekends. Those were the days that we were off, like Saturday and Sunday. But during the week, we had to be at work, and it would literally be from sun up to sundown. Our earliest mornings would be 5 o'clock. Our latest nights would be maybe 11:30. And by the time we got back to our house, it was time to go to sleep.
So it wasn't no play.
No. The first week, maybe the week and a half, we got the opportunity to actually get to know each other because none of us knew each other. So we got there, and the very first day, we did a table read with the producers, the execs, everybody, including the younger girls, I believe. And then also the next day we said, hey, let's go out to eat. Let's, get to know each other. We got to know each other. And then from there, we started going over lines together for that first week. and it was really dope because we had to get a actual sisterhood, like a really good
Real
bond
serious.
together.
Yeah.
We didn't want it to come off on television like, they just had to go to work. No, we actually developed a close-knit relationship.
Good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Now, I know Kiera plays her mother, and I have a question about that, but let me ask you this. If you could pick one role besides yours, which role do you think is going? Which role do you think is gonna blow us away? Denise's
role is gonna absolutely blow you away. Everybody's got their preconceived notion about what it is that is gonna happen, and they have no idea because again, these women are sisters first and foremost. Before the business, they have a mom. And they had
to live together.
You hear me? So
shower together, eat together.
There you go. See, you already know.
Yes.
So they're sisters in real life. You know what I'm saying? And people go through things, and so but we made, and Raven always talks about it. She says, I wanted to make sure that she wasn't coming off as a villain because she's not a villain. When you see the film, you'll be like, oh, they didn't mess her up. Like, everybody's thinking that we went after her or something. I'm like, no, she's not a villain. None of them are villains in the film. It's their actual story. Like people, but we get on Vine and stuff.
And we think we know. We don't.
Yeah.
Got it. Now, how was it working with the producers? You had one of them is coming to my mind. She's been doing a lot of
Holly Carter?
Yeah.
Thank
you so much. But how was it working with her?
She's great. She was actually the one that was on set the most. And let me see. So Queen, Mary J, and Missy, they weren't on set or anything like that. But when we met them, I think we've met everybody except for one. And that's Missy. But everybody keeps saying, oh my gosh, this movie, because they've seen it. So they're like, whoa, y'all killed it, because we wanted to make sure that, and this is them, they wanted to make sure that their story is being told in a way that the Clark sisters can tell their story and it really be the truth instead of people assuming what happened in their relationship, So it's dope to hear them say that it was really great, but Dr. Holly Cotter was there every step of the way, and she was even directing the Clark sisters when they came to set. They were like, are we supposed to be doing this? She's like, yes.
So tell me, how was that? So I'm sure the Clark sisters came on set a few times, or how did that work?
They did. They wanted to make sure that their story was told the way that it was supposed to be told. They even got the opportunity to change things around. If one of them was mixed up for saying this thing, they made sure that it was given to the correct sister. So it was really, really dope. And they're all executive producers as well, along with Sheer. He's an executive producer as well. Yeah. So,
man, that is great. So amazing. So how does it feel, and this is my last question, or last two questions, how does it feel, because we know that the Clark sisters are legendary to gospel music?
Yes.
Have that really registered that you are actually playing in a role that for centuries will be, their story is going to be told, not just now, but beyond? Has it really, how does that feel?
It hits me every day that it gets closer. Like, I literally get a joke every day, and don't make fun of me, but almost daily, I tune in to Lifetime just to see the commercial.
Oh, I get it. I will be tuning in. Girl, that's me. Girl, look.
My daughter.
Your mama know. Girl, that's you. Look at you. Yeah. That's so special, though. I'm celebrating
every day. Thank you so much. Thank you. It does. It hits me every single day. It's really amazing because you want for not just the Clark sisters to love it, but their fans are basically like the Beehive. So you got to make sure you come
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I grew up on them. Did you nail that part?
Right, there you go.
Yeah, so I get it. Okay, lastly, no more questions for you, but just tell us when the movie's gonna premiere, when I'm gonna be watching you, because I'm be like, hey, girl, so tell us when it's gonna premiere and all that good stuff.
Okay, so the movie premieres on April the 11th, 8/7 Central on Lifetime. And I believe that there are going to be like multiple other times that you'll be able to watch it, but we need to make sure that everybody watches it as soon as the 8/7 Central comes, because it's really important. This is Gospel Royalty. They're the first gospel group to have a biopic. So this is really huge for the gospel community. This is huge. Yeah.
Girl, I'm over here excited.
Oh my gosh.
I am super excited. Yeah, that's what's up. Well, I'm gonna be what, girl? I'm probably gonna make a party. Me and my family. We gonna have a full situation. I'm gonna cook me a bunch of food. Yeah, so I'm excited for you, and thank you again. And y'all gotta stop with these clips, because these clips is teasing us.
No more. There are no more clips, but I do believe that there'll always be like some more commentary from the executive producers and stuff. You know.
Okay. Well, I don't want to see no more, because I want to see the extra movie.
It's coming. We less than 2 weeks now. We putting it in there.
Almost there. But I gotta have you back on, because I know it's not just, the movie stuff. We'll talk more about, your music and your career. I gotta have you back on. I really enjoyed you.
I enjoy being on.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one and stay safe.
Girl, right. I'm over here praying. Wait, hold on. I know you got to go, but girl, I be over here interceding. You hear me?
Listen.
My daughter has sickle cell disease, so I'm so I'm really like, and my husband is a firefighter.
Yeah.
So he's actually, he had to go to work yesterday, and I came home, I'm side-eyeing him, don't touch me. I'm looking at him like, brother. Because, just that whole dynamic.
Yeah.
I'm constantly wiping in my house because he's out there.
Me too. And we don't even be going nowhere. And I'm like,
girl, my nerves. So, just keep me in prayers, and I'll do the same for you. But I just been praying just for safety, for just family, friends, so. But we going to make it through. We are. Yep, I got us. So I keep doing that. I gotta stop, because I did that in that last interview, and they was laughing at me. I was like, "Oh Lord, I gotta stop doing that."
Look, we see each other. We on the same page. We can do that.
Okay, as long as you got my back. Thank you so much, though, for joining me, hon.